Greetings. To get this conversation going, let us turn to our devotional, which comes to us from Proverbs 18, verses 16 and 17, and even maybe 18. So, the Word of God presents to us, it says, a man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. He that is first in his own cause seemingly just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. The lot causeth contention to cease, and peretteth between the mighty. So that there is the King James version of the Word of God. But let us look at what the NIV stance says to us. So if we look at the NIV, it says in the same passage, Proverbs 18 verses 16 through 18 says, a gift opens a door and helps the giver meet important people. That's true. In court, the first one to speak seems right. Then someone else comes forward and questions him. Casting lots will put a stop to arguing. It will keep the strongest enemies apart. So, this is just giving us some guidance. But the passage that I want us to focus intently on is Proverbs 18 and verse 16. It says, a gift opens a door and helps the giver meet important people. How many important people do you have that you need to meet that you have not yet met? It is your gift that will take you there. And in understanding your gift, it will allow you an opportunity to acquire wealth, acquire riches, so that you can be positioned to share it with those you come in contact with. But many people fail to realize that they have been given a gift. And because they don't understand that they have a gift, they put the gift on a shelf. And in putting the gift on a shelf, they basically restricts God's ability to bless them. So what I want you to understand is that each individual listening at this time, whether you're watching, even in those situations, you have a gift. How you use the gift is dependent upon you. What I want you to do is to consider what time, what purpose God has placed into you for your gift to be made manifest. I don't want you to just say, hey, I have been disadvantaged and there's nothing that I can do. I came from the wrong side of the town. That doesn't really matter. The gift that God has is already within you. A teacher doesn't really teach you to do anything. A teacher just allows you to realize that you could have done that which was already within you. When a baby is birthed, we realize that we don't have to teach a baby how to breathe. We don't have to teach a baby how to beat his heart. We don't have to teach a baby how to eat. The baby figures all of this out because all of that was embedded in the DNA of the child. So to the gifts, you'll realize that some children have affinity towards certain talents, towards certain gifting, towards certain protocols, towards certain behavior. That there is the gift that was specially designed and created within them. So each individual has to come to the realization that there is a gift within you. On this journey to becoming wealthy, to be making even your first million, you have to realize that it is your gift that will make you your first million. But making the money is one thing, keeping it, maintaining it, preserving it, distributing it and using it to bring honor and glory to God, that is where the hard part comes in. So, we had discussed previously about the different levels of financial steps. We had one, financial independency, financial solvency. Number two, number three, financial stability. Then number four, we had debt freedom. Then we had coasting at number five. Number six, financial security. Number seven, financial flexibility. Number eight, financial independence. Number nine, financial freedom. And yes, number 10, financial abundance. And that is a place that we aim and we strive to be. So every individual needs to know how are they going to reach to financial abundance. If you don't know where you are, you cannot know how to get where you need to be. And in our next sitting, we're going to be discussing in parts or in brief how much money do you really need at these different levels in order to move into the next level. But today I want us to go on a different tangent. It's still around money, it's still around finances, it's still around your personal development. Where I want us to take our mind's eye is on the different types of millionaires. Not only different types of millionaires, it's why you should become a millionaire, especially being a person of God or claiming to be a person of God. How can you become a millionaire is a question that many persons ask. But before we get into how you become a millionaire, I want you to realize something. Depending on how much income you're generating, it tells us where on the ladder on that journey you are. So, wealth levels are classified based on your network, and we understand your network. Your network is basically when we can say take all your assets minus all your liabilities, and whatever is left, that there is your net worth. So when we classify that into several categories, depend on context and depend on the specific definition that is used, we can do a general classification. This may surprise you. If you have a network less than $100,000, so you have $0, you have negative money up to $100,000, it is classified that you are in the low net worth. And in some realms, you don't even exist. This group typically includes individuals who may have limited assets and savings and might carry significant debt. So, debt is something that has been holding many people back from reaching their financial goal. And the first thing that I want you to consider on your financial journey is to get rid of debt. Debt is not benefiting you if you are the borrower. The borrower will always be a slave to the lender, a servant to the lender, whichever one you want to call it. That is what the borrower will always be. So that is level one, low income. You have less than $100,000. That is a low income level. Yes. Then we move into level two. Level two is considered the mass affluent. That is when you have a network of maybe $100,001 up to $1 million. This is where I want you to actually try or strive to reach the $1 million network. And we're going to give you this free resource here on the Dr. Kareem Ainsley encounter so as you can position yourself to be a millionaire. Being a millionaire is difficult if your mind is not properly aligned or calibrated. You'll continue working for the rest of your life and never see the fruits of your labor. We don't want that to happen to you. So, individuals in this mass affluent category are individuals who may have accumulated some wealth but are not yet considered high net worth. So, yes, you heard that right. If you have less than $1 million, you are not really in the high net worth category. And you may be saying, but $1 million is a lot of money. Yes, it's a lot of money when you don't have it. When you have $1 million, you realize how little that is, how that is not even able to stretch to do what God has gifted you to do, to reach the people that needs to be reached. And that is why even the wealthy people set up foundations so they can get more money to fund their vision, their ideas. So you have to decide where on the spectrum you want to be. So at this level, these people who are mass affluent, they may be classified in the middle income families or successful professionals. So yes, if you are a professional, whether you're a plumber, yes, a plumber is a professional. Carpenters are well paid individuals. A doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, those persons can reach to $1 million in net worth. But usually, if they take the traditional route, it will take them almost until they are 65, which they are not in a position to really enjoy the money based on the back bending work they had to do just to reach that level. No, level three is where I want us to actually gear our minds to reach in, because that is where we're going to give you this free resource so that you can use it to get to the high network individual level. And this is classified as HNWI, which is persons with a network of 1 million to 5 million. So that there is still low, but at least you're in the $1 million club. And when you're in the $1 million club, you have access to be doing more things. You have access to moving your money faster, because multiplying $1 to make $1 million takes a longer time than multiplying $1 million to make $1 million. Because if you double $1 million, you make $1 million. How many doubles would you need to take $1 all the way up to $1 million? It is more than one, because one doubled, that there gives you two, then two doubled gives you four. So you have gone two doubles already. So it takes more work when you have less than if you had a reasonable sum to start with. So these individuals in the high network people are individuals who are sustainable in their financial deployment of resources, and they have significant assets, usually in real estate. They usually have assets in stocks and commodities, financial markets, futures, cryptocurrency. They are investors, yes. They may be also traders, because trading and investing are two different, yeah, ball games, right? And then we move to level four. Level four is just where many persons dream of. It is the very high network individual. So this is classified as VH NWI, that's very high net worth individuals. And these people are basically persons with $5 million to about $30 million. These individuals have a significant wealth, often with diversified investment portfolio and range of assets, including luxury properties and businesses. So these persons are persons who actually have businesses which are successful, which are thriving. So the key that I want you to understand is that in order to reach to a particular level, what you did to get there will not keep you there. So you are going to have to condition your mind in a way to not work harder, but to work smarter. And the higher up you go, you have to realize that having 1% of 100 person's effort is better than having 100% of your own effort. So think about it. If you have 1 million persons working under you, giving you 1%, how many percent effort would that generate on you, who may be doing absolutely nothing but just having those persons working under you? So that there is the multiplier effect that takes place. So If you really want to make real money, outside of just being a high network individual, but you want to be a very high network individual, you have to have businesses. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, but having businesses position you in such a manner that you can actually control market supply, demand, costing, and you can balance where inflation comes in. All you have to do is just pass on that inflation burden on the persons who desire to enjoy the service that you are providing. Then we move into level 5. Level 5 is the ultra high network individuals. Yes. So at this level, once you have above $30 million, you are in the ultra high network individual level. So this is the wealthiest segment, or is it? So the ultra high network individuals, the UHNWI, have extensive assets and investment. Yes, you hear me talking about, I didn't say they have extensive savings. I said they have extensive assets and investment. Savings has never made anyone rich. They often have multiple properties, substantial business interests, and have significant influence and financial power. So, this brings us to the point I want you to bear in mind. The borrower is a slave or a servant to the lender, whichever one you want to take it at. If you don't have money, you don't have influence. I know that many people tell them money doesn't exist. That is true. Money is a concept. That is true. What we use is currency. That is also true. In order to do any business, you have to have capital. You have to have something to trade. And currently, in the year 2024, and as we progress forward, money is currently being used, or currency is currently being used in the place or the form of money. Depending on which economy you're in, you may have a debt-based system, which means that it is debt that is inflated like a balloon that causes the economy to move. So the less debt you have, the balloon will pop, the money collapse or the currency collapse goes to zero, and then hyperinflation takes over, and then another currency will take dominance. So that is how the money cycle works in a nutshell. So we understand all of that. But in order for you as a person of God to do anything that is meaningful and significant, you need capital. You heard that right. You need capital. To do God's work, you need money. To help people, you need money. When people's houses are blown down, when people's roofs are taken off, you need money in order to help them. So if you are not positioned where you have the resources, then you cannot galvanize the people to do the work that you will not be compensating them for. But though we have the ultra high network individual, we have a special club where we call the billionaire clubs. This is people with net worth of 1 billion and above. This category of people are the elites, and these are individuals whose worth exceeds $1 billion. Yes, that is a lot of dinero, a lot of mucha, a lot of money. Yes, and they typically have a major influence over large corporations, industries, and sometimes even countries. So when you become a billionaire, you will be positioned to control even a country. You heard that right. You can control a country. You have influence in a particular industry or industry. So these persons in this category are the founders, the CEOs. These are the persons who have this kind of resource and this kind of power to influence people, influence decision. So this is just a basic definition of what these individuals network includes. All right, And don't worry, we can start from zero and still reach a million. So this has been done time and time again. Many persons say that they are self-made, but is anyone really self-made? I am yet to see someone decide that they can make themselves. Have you ever seen that done before? I have never seen someone doing that before. So what I want us to do is to avoid the use of the word self-made, because we are not in a position to make ourselves, but we can allow God to use us, use the gifts He has placed in us to mature them so that we can express His glory. So that is what I want us to think about doing. If we look at the census, the US Census Bureau, and a few other sources, it will present to us the economic classification of American household. What I'm going to say to you may surprise you, but I don't want you to be surprised. I want you to just understand the level at where you are. So, I'm going to go through a few levels, and then you're going to have to decide where are you on the scale. If you are making below $26,496 for your family, let's say a family of four, in 2023, you are in poverty. And 18% of American households falls below this threshold. So yes, 18%, according to the World Economic Forum, of Americans fall below this threshold. So can you imagine living on $26,496 per year in America with the inflation taking over? You can see why we have health problems and crisis, because what is being sold to these people cannot be healthy. What they can afford is not in their best interest. So now we understand the relationship between your network, your health, and your life expectancy. But I know that the average amount of money that many persons work in America puts them in a low income category. And this is not my opinion. This is not what I perceive in my mind the year 2024. This is what the World Economic Forum presents to us. It says that if we earn, or if you earn income less than 52,000 annually, you are in a low income category. Did you hear that? If you earn 52,000 annually, you are in a low income category, which accounts for approximately 38% of households in America. Typically, personal care aides, cashiers, food servers, those persons are classified in this area. It doesn't mean that you cannot become wealthy in those areas, but remember, 1% of persons' energy, 1% of persons' effort, all that effort is going somewhere else to make someone else wealthy. So we have to classify that in our mind. Now, the part of the story, the phase on the scale that many persons get trapped is in the middle class. Yes, the middle class. And who is in the middle class? The middle class is basically classified. We're using the census information from 2022 and information from the World Economic Forum. It says that the middle class, based on that information, are for persons earning $52,001 all the way up to 56, well, not even 56, but 156,000 annually, which accounts for approximately 44% of households. The characteristics of these groups seems actually to be on decline and represents 61% of adults in 1971 to about 50% of adults in 2021. The median household income within this class was around 70,000 in 2022. And when we speak about being average, we're speaking about what is the baseline. So if you're below average, you're below the mediocre. So this is not a place that is a comfortable place to be. Being average just means that you are mediocre. You are doing what is expected. You are where you should be. You're not anything special. You're not doing anything special or of significance to cause attention to be on you. Sometimes when you're in school, you don't want the teacher to know that you're brilliant in your mind, so you just keep yourself to yourself. You do the work in the time that they provide, not because you have to do it in that time, but because you just don't want anybody to interfere with your peace of mind. We understand all of that. But when it comes on to your money, your family's money, the legacy that you have to leave for your children's children, you have to get serious about all of this. Because where you are today is positioning for where they will be in the future. But there is another level that we have to talk about. And this is a level that I want you to just be comfortable to know about as you strive to reach it. And if you're in this level, there is also another level that you need to actualize. So when we talk about level 4, we're talking about the upper class. So in this level, you earn more than 156,000 annually. Percentage of this population accounts for 18% of household. So let us think about it. 18% of the households are in poverty, at poverty level, earning below 26,497. So they are earning less than 26,496 and below. All right. And then in the upper class, they're now earning 156,000 annually, but this only accounts for 18% of American household. And typically persons are in this area are corporate executive, medical professionals, and departmental leaders, like different industry departmental leaders, right? So if you're a professional, you can be in this category. But there are other categories that exist. We're going to move now into the category that many persons will only dream of. Many persons will see on their TV, but many persons will fail to actualize. And this category is the top 1%. When you hear people say the top 1%, it means that it's nothing really that special, but it is important because majority, 99% of people don't reach to this level. So it is top 1% because it's only 1% of the population are able to reach this level. So if you have an annual salary of 600,000 and above, you would be in the top 1%. Yes, you heard that right. So characteristics of this group holds a significant portion of their wealth and typically includes top executive, successful entrepreneurs, I am repeating it, successful entrepreneurs and individuals with substantial investment income. So we are not hearing people with substantial savings income. We're talking about people with substantial investment income. So you are seeing what this is saying to us. It is saying that we have to stop and think about the reality. Is saving making you the money that you could be making if you were willing to take the risk to invest that capital? You have to decide what is in your best interest. You have to decide how you want your money to move, how you want your money to flow. And when that happens, everyone will indeed know. When the time is right, actually. All right. So let us just do a quick recap or a quick review. As of the mid 2020, the estimated population in the United States is approximately 339 million people. All right, based on the census.gov and Worldometer, USA Facts. Based on recent economic data census information, the population can be classified into different economic classes. So when we're talking about poverty, majority of the persons classified based on a combination of this data and not just the data that we presented earlier would be approximately 11.6% of the population. It appears that things are getting better, but the other six, approximately 7%, is missing because we just don't know about them. So this, if we just go with these numbers, 11.6% of the population, so that means that there are 39.3 million people living in poverty. Let me ask you a question. If you are living in poverty and everybody decides to give you $1 and you are in the United States, you would have $339 million, especially if you decide to give yourself $1 as well. So if we look at it from that simplistic perspective, it would appear that being in poverty should not be an option. But for some, that is their reality. And that is why a people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. When you're in a position, you're not seeing people who are outside of that position that you're in to give you guidance, to give you directions or instructions as how to get out of that state, then you become comfortable in your discomfort. And that there is not a state that anyone should desire to be in. So in this state, these individuals are below the federal poverty line. And if you are below the federal poverty line, it means that you are well below that which is acceptable. Then we move into the low income. The low income people are classified as poor people. So they are earning a decent wage in their minds, not realizing that they can do better. They have been enticed with different 2%, different promotions, but at the end of the day, they are still capped in the low income band. So this group of individuals include those just above the poverty line. So if you're just above the poverty line, but still struggling to make ends meet, I want you to realize that you're poor. This is not my opinion. This is what the statistics is saying. And we're just going through the statistics to allow you to realize where you are so you can position yourself to where you actually need to be. It is estimated that to be in this category of low income, there are approximately 29% of the population, or maybe roughly 98.3 million people. So these people are struggling to make ends meet. So this is the type of people that many credit card companies will start targeting, especially the subprime credit card companies. They want to get them trapped in a situation they have no business being a part of. And they say, yes, we're protecting you from the loan sharks. But guess what? At the end of the day, the same persons who claim to have been protecting you from the loan shark, guess who becomes the loan shark? They are the ones who now becomes the loan sharks. Then we move into the middle class category. This is a class of people that encompasses a significant portion of the population, estimated 52%, or about 176 rather, 0.3 million people. That is 176.3 million people. This group includes those households that are experiencing a moderate kind of living standard. So this is based on the census classification, the most recent census, not the 2022 data. So the numbers seems to be improving, but are they really improving? In the middle class, you will be targeted to be exploited based on where you are positioned, because the credit card companies, the banks can get money out of you. They know that you're working, they know that you have a job, they know that you are reliable, so they are going to try to target you. So when they target you, you have to be strategic in your thinking to say, is this in my best interest? Will this derail me from my financial position that I desire to be in 10 years? Think about it. If they are getting 10% from you every year, how would that be better? Thinking about the future, if you were giving yourself 10% compounded on the investment of that which you would have been given to them, wouldn't that put you in a better position? Instead of taking away from you, it would be enhancing you, it would be given to you. But you have to be very mindful and don't allow the societal norms to derail you from your financial journey. Then we have level 4, which is the upper middle class, approximately 30% of the population, or 44 million people fall into this category. These individuals have higher earning and can afford more comfortable lifestyle. So when you're in the upper middle class category, you are able to buy luxury at this time. You have the challenge in some instances of lifestyle creeps, because the more you earn, the more you want to spend, especially when your financial hygiene is not the best. Your financial hygiene is not ideal. You don't like to do that which is systematic. You have an addictive personality to spending. So these people get themselves into bankruptcy over time if they are not careful. But these persons are positioned to pass on wealth to their children. But if they have a proper financial hygiene, they will realize that, hey, the money they have can last. All they need to do is to have it invested and compounded. Then we move into the upper class, which is the rich category. This category includes the top earners, which constitutes about 4% of the population, or approximately 13.6 million people. So yes, there are people that are making millions of dollars every single year. Why not you? You can do it too, but you have to position yourself. Your gifts is the first thing that I want you to consider. What is it that you are good at? What is it that can position you in such a way to be on stages, can position you in such a way that people are looking for you, can position you in such a way that allows you to take care of your family, that allows you to help others? I want you to not only just listen and enjoy the conversation, learning the information of the statistics. You have to position yourself to do something with the information. Write down this week on a paper What are your gifts? What is it that you are good at? How can this be of benefit to society? If you can do that, then you will be in a rather lucrative position, because then you can leverage your gifts to generate resources so that you can share it with others and you can have the multiplier effect taking place. Many persons don't understand that it is not as hard as they may have been told. It is actually way, way easier. But many people are not willing to do the work. I want you to consider doing a little work, just a little work, so that you can reposition yourself and your family. I really care about you and your family. I don't want to have anyone that experience time with me to be in a depraved state. I don't want you not to get value from our interaction, from our conversation. I want you to take actionable steps in getting to where you need to be. And that is why we need to know our numbers. We need to know where we are so that we can move to where we need to be. Approximately 8.8% of the US adults are millionaire. I want you to hear that. And this is based on the 2022 statistics, population, information. That would mean that there are approximately 22 million individuals that are living in the United States of a population of 331 million. That was in 2020. So if 22 million people are already millionaires, what is stopping you? Why can't you be a millionaire as well? Even if you have a job, if you position yourself correctly, you can become a millionaire. It's not that complicated, but many persons are not willing to restrict themselves to certain financial protocols in order to get where they need to be. What am I saying? I'm saying sometimes you need to stop buying the things that you know you don't need. Getting involved in crowds that you know you don't need to be involved in. Doing things that you know have no benefit to you or your future. You have to have the mind that you desire to be an ambassador for not only yourself, not only for God, but for the family. I want you to know that it's not too late to become a millionaire, because the average age of becoming a millionaire is 57 years. And most of these millionaires are persons who actually are professional millionaires. And yes, we have professional millionaires. Millionaires who became millionaires not because they had the highest paying jobs, but because they allowed compound interest to multiply the little that they have over time. And they are reaping the benefits in their prime years. So the average age at which individuals become a millionaire is 57 years old. Most millionaires are middle-aged or older. So that there is telling us that about 80% of millionaires are over the age of 45. So if you are not yet 45, it's not too late. You can become a millionaire even at 45. Only 3% of millionaires, this is important for you to know, only 3% of millionaires are under 35 years old. So if you're under 35, don't feel as though everybody on social media is making all this money. Majority of them are pretending. Majority of them are drowning in debt. Don't follow the people on social media. If you're under 35, I don't want you to be driving in anybody's lane. I don't want you to position yourself so that you can become compromised. Don't allow people to cloud your judgment of the reality. You can become a millionaire at any age. It's not just about making the money, it's also about how much of that money are you willing to keep. Then we move into another category, the ultra high net worth individuals, those with over $30 million. The average age of these individuals are about 64 years. Yes, you heard that right. The average years or the average age of those in the ultra high net worth is 64. It doesn't mean that you can't do it before. You can do it before. It doesn't mean that you cannot do it after. You can do it after. But you can reach there eventually. And everybody timing is different. Education is important. Schooling is relevant in certain regards. But majority of the persons who are in the ultra high and also those persons who are in the millionaire club, those persons claim to have been self-made. Can you imagine that? Majority of the persons who are millionaire didn't inherit the millions. They actually worked from zero all the way to a million. So what is stopping you from moving from zero to a million? It is possible. And I want you to consider how much persons you would be better positioned to help if you were a millionaire. There are many persons right now waiting on you to be activated so that they can get the blessings that you are holding in your hand. Now, let us get into the conversation about the different types of millionaires. We have an understanding of what the population is saying to us. We understand that it is possible to become a millionaire. It's absolutely possible. Many persons have done it before. What is stopping you? Do you truly want to become a millionaire? That there is up to you. But what I would suggest to you is that if you're serious about becoming a millionaire, you have to get as much information as you can about what a millionaire lifestyle entails and allow yourself to be so positioned to become a millionaire. Yes, it is possible. So now let us get into the different types of millionaires that exist. I know that becoming a millionaire is an aspiration of many persons. But what is the sense of just having an aspiration if you're not going to activate that aspiration and do things so that you can position yourself to become that millionaire? The most common ways of becoming a millionaire depends on a person's level of skill set, depends on a person's interest, their resources that they have. However, some common areas in which people become millionaires include being self-employed or even an employment millionaire. So when we talk about the employment millionaire, these are people become a millionaire on a job. Yes, you heard that right. There are people who become a millionaire on a job. So when we talk about that, we're talking about the C-suite executive, the financiers, the finance guys, those people on Wall Street, the brokers, the athletes, the musician, the physician, the sales and insurance people. We're talking about people in banking, technology, persons in medicine, the doctors, other healthcare providers, practitioners, and those with high salaries such as the lawyers, particularly who specialize in high paying level of corporate or patent law. Those persons will have a better advantage because their starting is more advanced than the average individuals. Then we have, yes, persons making a modest income can also become, if you're making 50,000, you can also become a millionaire, compounded your money in the stock market, compounding your money in different investment vehicles. But it may just take you a little longer to double your money. But once you got a doubling effect taking place, it will just snowball. And if it is snowballing, then you are in a good position. As long as your money is not going down, you're okay. Some persons get stuck in being a mental millionaire. Yes, you have persons who have the mindset, oh, I want to be a millionaire. I am going to be a millionaire. I'm going to manifest being a millionaire. So they're thinking about being a millionaire. They're thinking about, yes, yes, yes. Let me think about it. Let me speak it into being. Yes, but speaking it into being, the first thing that you have to do is, yes, understand that you desire to do it. So you're going to have to now position yourself to understand financial concept, understand what are income, expenses, assets, liability, capital gain, cash flow. You have to understand what net worth is, budgeting and financial statements, etc. These are the things that you will need to do if you're going to move from being a mental millionaire, just thinking that you want to be a millionaire, and these are things you have to put in place so you can position yourself now to become a millionaire. So we have the employment millionaire, which many persons have accomplished. We have the mental millionaire, which persons get stuck in that box because they look on the outside and say, oh, the grass is greener. It looks nice to be a millionaire. Why don't I want to become a millionaire? And that there is a mental millionaire. But if you get stuck in this category, you'll die in poverty. You'll die as a middle class. You'll die not realizing the dream of what your mental mind had envisioned. Then we have liquid millionaire. So a liquid millionaire individual is a person who has $1 million. Most of these assets are in cash, savings, and investment that can be easily converted to cash. So being a liquid millionaire, this person I think is waiting on opportunity because there's no real reason to have such amount of money in cash unless you are waiting on a specific opportunity. So this is a strategic positioning millionaire. And I know some persons don't want to borrow money, don't want to take loans, are not excited about investing in volatile investment opportunities. So for those persons being a liquid millionaire, you just want to play it safe. You don't know when you're going to meet your demise, so you want to have cash on hand. That there is okay. But many persons have experienced millionaire status by becoming an investing millionaire, often by having a diverse portfolio, holding particular assets for maybe 30 years. They become a millionaire just like that. Then we have those who are speculative millionaires. And these are persons who become millionaires through speculation, which is the act of investing in high risk, high reward assets with the goal of generating significant profit, which takes place in their favor. So they become a millionaire. They convert $2,000 all the way into $1 million in a short time span because of the spike and volatility in the market. So in crypto, they may invest in those assets, or not invest, rather. Let me be more forthright. They may trade those assets, they may speculate on those assets, and they just basically pump and dump. So that is basically what happens usually in speculation, or they find a trend, a wave, and they ride it all the way up. There's nothing wrong with riding a wave up, but you have to be ethical in how you become and acquire your funds. But everybody has to do what is in their best interest in alignment with their financial position and their financial goal. So they have high risk, high reward. So yes, they can lose all the money, they can go into negative, but some persons don't mind the adrenaline rush that comes with losing all your money. So speculation can involve investing in assets such as stock, real estate, commodities, with the expectation of selling them at a higher price in the future. Speculation can be very risky to build wealth, as it involves taking on significant risk in the hope of achieving significant or extraordinary returns. And in all honesty, I do enjoy speculation, but not speculation for the long term, but speculation for the short term. So we also have another type of millionaire class of people. We call them credit millionaire. You know, you have some persons who have their credit cards and they have $1 million in line of credit, or they have lines of credit, they have credit cards, they have different loan facilities out. So they are millionaires in that regard. So they have $1 million in lines or access to funds or more. However, that there could be a state where there are negative millionaires. So it all depends on the perspective that you're looking at it from. Some person may say, yes, it's okay to become a credit millionaire. So these individuals usually build a significant amount of their wealth through use of credit, such as taking on loans or using credit cards to make purchases and investments. So basically, they borrow money to make them money. So credit can be a useful financial tool if you know how to use it. So basically, they go into debt and have other persons bear the burden of that debt based on them leveraging that debt on other persons who need the resources that they have. So that's basically what is taking place here. So this can be lucrative if you know what you're doing, but because I am apprehensive in individuals who don't have a proper financial footing in taking on debt, I will not recommend becoming a credit millionaire unless you know exactly what you are doing. But I will not be in a position to guide you intricately in becoming a credit millionaire because I am apprehensive and I do not recommend that people take on debt. So that there is a challenge that we are facing. Then we have inheritance millionaire, and we understand what that means. Your parents had a lot of wealth, money, maybe, and then they say, hey, let us pass this on to cash, investment, real estate, and other assets. So a regular person now is a millionaire, and even in some instances a multi-millionaire, and that there is something that many persons desire to enjoy. Then we have tax avoidance millionaire. This type of millionaire is a person who has become a millionaire by legally minimizing their tax liability through a tax avoidance strategy. Tax avoidance is a practice of using legal means to reduce or eliminate tax liability as opposed to tax evasion. So we're not talking about anything that is illegal. Uh, because tax evasion is illegal, it is basically the practice of avoiding or failing to pay taxes. Tax avoidance strategy can include things such as setting up a business or an investment in an jurisdiction with lower tax rate, taking advantage of tax credits or deduction, or structure financial transaction in a way that minimizes tax liabilities. All right? And then we have real estate millionaire. Basically, real estate millionaire is a person who becomes a millionaire through real estate ownership. So you have real estate purchases, you have rental properties, you may have bed and breakfast properties, you may have a property management system. It just has to do something with land, building, whether it is a storage facility. So you have those things and you're generating income from those things. So that there will make you a real estate millionaire. And remember, we said the only estate that is real estate. Then we have a retirement millionaire. Retirement millionaire are the millionaires that become only a millionaire after they have retired. So they have their 401k, they have their IRA, and they can only access this money without the penalties of early withdrawal after they have retired. So they would become a retirement millionaire. Yes, there's nothing wrong with becoming a millionaire in your retirement, but you have to be sure to position yourself to have the energy to be able to use the resources that you have. Then we have cash flow millionaires. Cash flow millionaires are basically millionaires, persons who become millionaires who have a high level of cash flow, which is the amount of money coming in and going out of the business or individuals on a regular basis. This term is often used to describe individuals who have a high level of income or a consistent stream of revenue, such as investment rental properties or serial entrepreneurs. These are individuals who have started and maybe even sold successful businesses, often using the proceed from one business to fund the next business. Then we have other type of millionaires. We have the passive income millionaire, and remember, passive income is not as passive as people present it to be, because you have to put in the groundwork before you can get the cash flow that you desire. And even with passive income, you still have to do maintenance. Then persons have specialized assets, stocks, and bonds. So you have the asset millionaire. So based on what everything that you own amasses to, then you can be considered to be a millionaire. Then we have the network millionaire. So network millionaire, a person whose network, which is a total value of their asset minus their liability, is equal to or greater than $1 million. That person is a network millionaire. Then we have the financial freedom millionaire, which is a person who has achieved financial independence and has the financial resources to support their desired life without the need for work. So, yes, there are different levels to this game. And you just have to understand, if you want to become a millionaire, you have to understand the lifestyle of a millionaire. You have to understand how millionaires are minted. You have to understand which areas of the United States you need to be if you want to be a millionaire. So these information are very important for all of us to understand. So this is where we're going to pause at this juncture of our conversation. But I'll see you in the next sitting. And this is just one straight take. We'll have the video posted shortly, and we'll also have the shorts made available for you so that you can enjoy at your own time and convenience. Thank you for spending some quality time with us. I hope that you were blessed. I hope the Spirit of God spoke to you to enlighten you to realize why it is important that you be the head and not the tail. God's richest blessing to you. Until we meet again, blessings.